Ship are all about. They're bunkering ships or bunkering barges that you see up in the section. That allows us to actually take the fuel directly to the ships. And that is a good deal for everybody, again, because it means they're not trying to compete for the space in the dock, and it also means that they get a refuel while they're loading and unloading cargo, which gets them underway much quicker. All of that being said, we do most of this using smartphones. And one of the is that they do not have their own source of propulsion. They're instead completely reliant on these tugboats. And we have two very special kinds of tugboats right next to us here. The yellow ones, if you look right next to the stacks, you'll see a couple of really big water cannons. Those are fully equipped firefighting ships, and they actually also have everything on board to pick up an oil spill. They're escort tugs, and they're designed to go out into the Gulf of Alaska with oil tankers and ensure that everything is nice and safe for them. The red tugboats with the sort of air traffic control tower-esque pilot houses, those are called tractor tugs, and they're special because they actually don't use screws or propellers like we do. They use a propulsion system called a twin cycloidal propulsion system, which is effectively a set of blades that are stuck straight out of the bottom of the hull. They spin like egg beaters, and because they can control which direction these blades face as they rotate, they can provide the exact same amount of power in any direction regardless of where the bow is facing. And that kind of maneuverability is super important when you're trying to push something the size of one of these cargo container ships with, say, a fuel barge next to it into something as tight as the East Fork of the Duwamish River, which is our main shipping channel. So they basically take care of the vast majority of the things that come from this section. These bunker barges, which are the black barges that we're sitting right next to now, they're not called bunker barges because they're super secure like a World War II bunker. They're called bunker barges because they contain something called bunker oil, which is effectively unrefined kerosene. In fact, it's so unrefined, it has a lot of sulfur and it's not legal for use here in the waters. You have to be out at sea to switch to it, but it also turns into a jelly at lower temperatures, so it's in contact with the hull, which is in contact with the ocean. And that's really important because if you imagine having somewhere between 120,000 gallons and 1,000,000 gallons of fuel on board, and it's sloshing around with the waves, yeah, your ship might not be terribly stable, but by turning it to jelly, it makes the baffles much more effective and keeps everything else safe. And, of course, being extremely low level of refinement, they're also much cheaper than most fuels. So if you're trying to move a lot of goods quickly and cheaply, this is the fuel of choice. It's basically what you'll see on all of the ships that you'll see. As the captain noses us into the East Fork of the Duwamish River, it's giving us a really nice view of these cranes. These are actually some of the biggest cranes that you will see anywhere in the world. These gantry cranes, like the ships that they service, come in three basic categories. The Panamax, which is the largest ships that built the original Panama Canal. The Post-Panamax, which are the largest ships that built the current widened Panama Canal. And the Super Post-Panamax, which are so large that they don't fit through any of the canals and are pretty much stuck in the waterway that they were designed for. These cranes are designed to deal with super post-Panamax ships. They do have them up in the up position. That's because they're not currently operational. But if you take a look at the ship in front of us, Anna Mouse, that is a post-Panamax ship. If you imagine those booms coming down and how much extra space there is on the side of those booms, that gives you an indication of how big a super post-Panamax ship is. So they're pretty absurdly huge. Each one of these cranes is operated by a single operator. He sits in that little glass cabin. He's got a glass plate from the floor, looks straight down between his feet at the claw, and they're expected to move one of these containers every 60 to 90 seconds. So as you can imagine, that's a pretty high stakes game of claw. Furthermore, one of the major questions that we get about these ships is exactly how do they stay stable while they're out at sea with all this cargo piled up on top of their decks? And the answer to that's actually threefold. For one, every container that you see up on top, there's at least one container down in the hull. Two, this ship sits a lot deeper in the water than you think it is. She's currently sitting about 12.5 meters. That's the better part of 40-odd feet that you cannot see because it's underwater. And three, the longshoremen who are loading these ships know exactly how heavy each container is. So the heaviest containers go at the bottom, the lightest containers go on top, and that ensures that the center of gravity stays as low as possible, and that's sort of what helps keep them stable while they're at sea. All of that being said, of course there are occasional losses. Not so much of ships, those are pretty bulletproof, but of containers that do occasionally fall over the side. Current best estimate is that about 12,000 containers get lost at sea every year, which sounds like a huge amount until you realize that we ship tens of millions of containers every single year, making that less than 1% losses, keeping this the safest method of shipping known to man. As we do make our turn here in the Duwamish waterway, we get a view of this brick building here, with a clock tower on top, a couple of suspiciously familiar green eyes, and a big American flag, and that is the global headquarters for Starbucks. Starbucks is, of course, a Seattle institution. The original location was down by Pike Place Market. Unfortunately, it pretty much got burnt to the ground, so the only original thing that you will find here is the original Starbucks logo, and that is the only place that you will
Quay
find
phim.
Speaking of Starbucks logos, you might have noticed that when you look at your cup, that
Không có
one looks a
chim.
little strange. She seems to have two tails, one coming up one side, one coming up the other. That's because that is not actually a mermaid. That is a siren, and she's willing to walk the rocks. We promise her $5 lattes. As we make our way back out of the Duwamish, we're getting a nice view of Seattle's Coast Guard sector Puget Sound. First to get notice this sort of cubic-looking building with light gray, dark gray, and beige trim. That is the Jayhawk, Joint Harbor Waterway Control. And they work with the Canadian Coast Guard out of Tofino to control the entirety of the Puget Sound. This is actually the world's largest controlled waterway. And the main reason for that is we've got two countries working out of multiple ports per country on a very narrow waterway. So it's pretty dangerous. They ensure that we stay as safe as possible. We haven't had an accident like that in a long time, so they're clearly doing their job.
Hi. Hi.
They also play host to a couple of big red-hulled ships here. Those are both icebreakers. One, the further inland one, is the Polar Sea, which is part of the Polar class of icebreakers, which are the most powerful icebreakers in the U.S. fleet. And the one that's closer to us is the Healy, and she's in her own class, and that is the largest icebreaker in the U.S. fleet. And icebreakers have a pretty unique hull design. They're actually not designed to split ice like a wedge. They're designed to ride up on the ice and the entire weight of the ship coming down to break the ice as they pass through. So they go through an ice flow pretty much like a giant jigsaw. Furthermore, since we're directly astern of the Healy, you can see that she's pretty much rounded port to starboard, and that's because those ships roll. Most ships, like the ones we were on, or these container ships, they can do about a 30 to a 35-degree roll before there's a really big problem. These guys can take more than a 65. At that point, it's actually easier to walk on bulkheads than it is to walk on the floor. So if you take a tour of them, you'll find that their boot clips are 4 feet up on the walls. That's just like consider they're walking from point A to point B, and that's the easiest way to get there. But that also helps them break ice. If they pass through an ice flow pretty much like we are, nice and square trim, they would break a section of ice just about as wide as their hull. There's a chance for them to all refreeze and pinch into place. But by rolling, they break a section of ice that's significantly wider than their hull. And that allows them to take a second try at something that they need. And since that's the largest and most powerful icebreaker in the fleet, if they get stuck, it's really, really embarrassing. In front of them, but further off to our right, we see our first of our stadiums. T-Mobile Park, recently Safeco Field, still home to the Seattle Mariners, our baseball team. And at the time of introduction, that was the most expensive single-use stadium in the country. Of course, the Yankees couldn't live with the idea of a baseball team having a more expensive stadium than them, so it took them just about 2 years to build the stadium at about twice the price tag. But for a little bit, we held that honor, and the main reason for that was the roof. As I mentioned, we rained for about 8 months out of the year. We didn't feel like doing up that many rain checks, so we designed a roof that would open and close in about 15 minutes while still having girdered sides, allowing us to play open-air baseball. And we also realized we're pretty far north, and it was actually difficult to get grass to germinate in time for opening day. So we buried a whole bunch of pipes underneath the field. We run hot water through them all winter long, and that ensures that we have live grass to play on all year round. All of that being said, that is a super expensive convertible, so it is also colloquially known as Seattle's midlife crisis. The other stadium with the white-colored girders is CenturyLink Field, and that is home to our football team. That stadium, as well as the Seahawks, was Paul Allen. Late Paul at this point, I guess. And he thought it was much more interesting to watch football played in inclement weather, so he demanded that the center of that field be completely open to the elements. But just like the baseball teams, they didn't feel like having their fans get rained on was a really great idea, so they copied the clamshell roof design